Welcome back to our virtual pilgrimage of life. In this Advent season, we started up in Galilee. And so we have taken you in our prayer and in our travels here to this place. I'll explain what you're seeing right now, but first I want to tell you how we got here. You'll notice that there's traffic in front of us. You'll probably see some cars. You'll see some buildings behind me to my right. And that is because this is a very busy road. In fact, it's an ancient road. It's the road of the Patriarchs, because the main patriarch who went up and down this road was Abraham. If you keep going that direction, you'll go all the way to Hebron. And that's where Abraham was when the three angels visited him. And so it's an important place. Now, this Hebron road in ancient times would take you to Jerusalem. In fact, it goes right next to the city of Jerusalem. So what did we do with all of you in our backpacks and in our hearts during this virtual pilgrimage? We came up from the desert. And that means that we passed by Jericho and came up through the desert of Judea. And then here we went over the top of the Mount of Olives. So if you've ever done that, you'll notice that you're right next to the modern day Hebrew University. And what you see behind you is desert. And what you see in front of you is the glorious city of Jerusalem. In fact, the golden dome of the rock is what strikes your attention. And that's what Mary and Joseph would have seen when they came this direction. When they were coming to Bethlehem, they would have seen the glinting beauty of the temple. They would have taken a left, just like we did, made their way along this road to the border between Jerusalem and Bethlehem. Bethlehem is to my left. That's where we are headed. And so what is this structure behind us? Well, if you want to look it up, it has an interesting name. It's a Latinized Greek name, and that is called, its name is the Kathisma. The Kathisma. Now, the Greek word is Kathisma. So if you're a Greek speaker, you know that that means seat. So I want you to notice that there is an octagonal structure here. So it's like a circle, 8-sided circle. And in the center, there's like a low rock that seems to have been cut. And that rock is the seat. This church is also called the seat of Mary. So why would they put this here? Well, there's a lot of things that we do in the Holy Land when we're looking to understand the history of salvation. And if we're talking about Christmas, it's one of the most important moments of the history of salvation. So as Mary and Joseph were walking, they and the other people who were in the caravan on pilgrimage, they would need places to stop and rest. And so from the very beginning, people were asking the Christians of this place, that means Judeo-Christians, why is this spot important? When they did the archaeological excavations here, they found that there was an ancient chapel from at least the 2nd century. That's well before it was legal and safe to be a Christian. It was a venerated spot. And then it was in, I think it was 456 or 54, that this church was built here, dedicated to the Theotokos. Now I'm just going to explain something. Why would they do it here? Why would they pick that little shrine, that little chapel? It's because of the seat where Mary rested on her way to Bethlehem. So perhaps if they continue to do excavation here, they might even find like maybe a tavern sort of place, a rest stop where a lot of people rested if they were making this trip. But the fact of the matter is, even an ancient document called the Proto-Gospel of James, remember James was the apostle, the one who was the foundation stone of the patriarchate here in Jerusalem, Jesus' brother, okay? He wrote, well, they say that he wrote this, it was probably after him, and that's why it didn't make it into the Bible. He wrote all about the infancy of Jesus. And when they studied it, they said, you know, even if it bears an apostle's name, there's so much sort of mythology and things that are just not according to the history of salvation. It never made it into the Bible. But it is an historic document. It talks about this place. The first Christians talked about this place. This church, this 5th century church, 450 something, the very first church ever dedicated to Mary is right here. That says a lot. Now you might ask yourself, why are we right next to a road? Why are we so close to a road? Well, Mary rested here, okay, fine. But I have to tell you, it was until the 1990s that they rediscovered this place when they were trying to widen this road. And so instead of widening it this side, they're widening it on the other side because of this beautiful church. Now, just really quickly, I want to tell you something about the architecture. It's one of the very first churches, if not the very first, that is in the shape of an octagon. So that means that it's 8-sided. And why is 8 an important number for Christians? It's because it's the 8 Beatitudes. It's the 8th day. If you come to Israel, you know that the Jewish people celebrate the Shabbat. Okay, that's the 7th day. It's the 7th day of creation when everyone rests, right? Well, it was the 8th day, the day after Shabbat, that Jesus rose from the dead. It became our holy day. And that's why it's 8-sided. And if you go into the center part, you'll notice that there's rings around the center. And so many churches are like this because what was venerated, or a place of memory, or perhaps a place where a saint was, or Jesus was, or something, you would walk around it and you would pray so that everyone could see that central spot and know, in a sense, that God walked here. In fact, if you want to use your, not just imagination, but your extrapolation, if Mary sat there and she was almost 9 months pregnant, Jesus was sitting right there on that rock. And that's what makes this place so sacred. Well, today, our symbol for this first week of Advent is a star. And it's not just because it sort of looks like a star-shaped place. No, not at all. It's because also on this hilltop is a monastery right there. It's called Mar Elias Monastery. It's currently a Greek Orthodox monastery. And right behind us used to be a monastery. If they would do more excavations, you'd find the whole complex. Because this church and the monastery was built by a rich widow who wanted to really honor this new proclamation from the Council of Ephesus. And so she funded the building of this church and the monastery. In fact, the bishop even lived there for a while. But the point is, over in Mar Elias, there's sort of this legend, which I do specify it as a legend, that when the 3 kings were coming from there, I can make out with my eye, I don't think you can, the old city of Jerusalem. The Tower of David is the place where Herod had his palace. And so there were 3 kings that Matthew tells us in his gospel that were following a star, the symbol of this week. And when they left, remember when they went to talk to Herod, the star had disappeared. And so they were looking for guidance. They were looking for light. And we're going to read that right now. And they left there, and so they made their way forward toward Bethlehem according to what the chief priests told Herod. And it was right here, when they got to the peak of this hill, looking into Bethlehem, that star shone again and led them directly to the spot where Jesus had been born. So let's read about that right now, and we'll make a commentary on the scripture. And before we do that, since it is the first week of Advent, you can take out your Advent calendar, your Advent wreaths, take out that match and light your Advent, first Advent candle. It's a purple candle as we make our way toward Christmas. So if you would like to take out your Bibles at the light of our candle, and we're going to turn to the Gospel of Matthew, chapter 2. So this is what it says, starting in chapter 2, verse 1. Now, when Jesus was born in Bethlehem of Judea in the days of Herod the king, behold, wise men from the east came to Jerusalem, saying, "Where is he who has been born the King of the Jews? We have seen his star in the east and have come to worship him." When Herod the king heard this, he was troubled, and all of Jerusalem with him. So it continues on, and it says in, I think it's verse 6 or verse 4 here, when he asked the chief priests, because Herod called them, "In Bethlehem of Judea, for so it is written by the prophet, and you, O Bethlehem, in the land of Judah, are by no means least among the rulers of Judah. For from you shall come a ruler who will govern the people Israel." So then, Herod brings the wise men back. He tells them to go find the child, to tell him about the baby so he can go and worship them. And so the wise men continue on, and this is what I wanted to point out right here. When they had heard the king, they went their way, and behold, the star which they had seen in the east went before them till it came to rest over the place where the child was. When they saw the star, they rejoiced exceedingly with great joy. And going into the house, they found the child with Mary. And we'll look at that a little bit later in the future. But let's just take some of these words and reflect on them a little bit, talking about the importance of this first week of Advent and the symbol of the star. Well, I like another translation that actually says they were overjoyed on seeing the star. They were just delighted. because we know that a star is a guide in the darkness, right? So just in general, this whole part of the Bible sort of foretells what's going to happen with the gospel message, this message that the Lord has become incarnate. God has been made flesh and he's been born. That's incredible in this dark, dark world. And the Gentiles will accept him. The kings were Gentiles. They certainly were not Jews. They did not know. But it says in the gospel passage we just read, they saw the star. So what were they doing? They were wise men, Magi. They were looking toward the heavens. They were philosophers. They were looking for signs in nature. They were reflecting and thinking and in their own way praying to the gods. And so when they saw these planets come together, they saw the birth of a new star, they knew there was meaning behind that. So much so that it says in the gospel passage we just read, they wanted to pay homage to him. In fact, they did that. Why? A new star, a new king. Someone who comes from the heavens, who is above me, who rules me, who takes care of me. They knew this. And they were also familiar with the prophets. So everyone in this whole area knew what happened at the Exodus. Everyone. Every kingdom that was here in the land of Israel, ancient Israel, they all knew this. They had heard what Balaam prophesied, and you could read that in Numbers chapter 24, verse 7. When he was trying to curse the people of Israel, this is what came out of his mouth. A star shall advance from Jacob. Jacob, meaning Israel. A star shall advance. What's the star? Well, the star that led the Magi, of course. But we all know that the star means the king. It's the king himself. In other words, the ancient Israelites will rule everything because God is with them, just like he was when they crossed the Red Sea in the Exodus. And then I love this one particular part of this passage we just read. Herod consults the chief priests. He has to bring them in and ask where the Messiah is to be born. Now it's interesting. Pharaoh consults the sacred scribes in Exodus chapter 7, verse 11, because Moses is doing all these great signs in the midst of the Exodus. Why is Matthew pointing this out? Because Jesus becomes the new Moses. He is going to be saving his people and bringing them out to freedom. That's what Matthew is trying to say. This Jesus will deliver his people. And it's not only that. I love the fact that they were able to see the star again only after consulting the sacred scriptures, the prophecies of where the Messiah was to be born. Suddenly they had light. Doesn't that talk to us about how the scriptures can enlighten us and guide us and help us in our everyday life? Absolutely. It'll guide us on our path like a star. Now, I also love the fact that in Isaiah chapter 60, verse 6, it actually says this, and this is what you probably see in your manger scene. We all do this because it's straight from the Bible. It says, caravans of camels shall cover you, dromedaries of Midian and Ephah, all from Sheba shall come, bearing gold and frankincense and heralding praises of the Lord. So there we have our three kings, gold, frankincense, and myrrh coming here. Well, yes, it's scriptural. It's incredible. It's all right here. So this is why we have the symbol of the star. But let's apply this more to ourselves. Thinking about Mary and Joseph resting there on that rock. Thinking about the monks here praying about that reality. Thinking about all of Christendom that was trying to understand who this Jesus really was, true God and true man. What does that have to do with me? What does this Christmas have to do with me? Every single Christian is called to be a star. Jesus himself said that we are called to be salt and light. And Christians in the Holy Land, if you meet them, or if you meet a Messianic Jew, suddenly you'll be like, something's different here. There's light coming from this face, from this person. There's joy emanating from these eyes. Even if they are people which maybe don't go to church very often, may not pray very often, there is something that sets them apart from everyone else in this land. And I think because it's not a Christian civilization in many ways, you can see it more, you can sense it more. They bear grace. That means God's life within them from their baptism, from their union with him. And they bear the sacraments, the body and blood of the Lord in the Eucharist. Body, blood, soul, and divinity. Oh my gosh. Think about Mary right there. What did she have in her womb? Body, blood, Ephesus reminded us, soul, divinity, the divinity and the humanity of Christ was right there. God himself was being born, carried from Nazareth in Galilee, where we were, throughout all of this pathway that we're taking, to be made manifest, to be born in Bethlehem. So Christians here are, like I said, are joyful, they are happy, they are lights in the darkness of the world, and that's what we are called to be, to bear him. How is my light? Is there light and joy coming from me? Is it clear that I am bearing God himself within me? During this Advent, maybe I can renew that, praying a little bit more, taking some time with the scriptures a little bit more, going to church a little bit more, witnessing with greater confidence that, yes, I am Christian, convinced of Jesus. Maybe I need to get to know him better. Maybe all of that is happening. So is he within me? Am I aware of being a Theotokos as well? And now, let's take up our candles and make our way to Star Street. And I would like to do what they used to do in the ancient times in this church. They would process around the church, they would make their way all the way to the Temple Mount to honor that scriptural passage where they brought Jesus in the presentation of the temple. So we'll also, just like the pilgrims have done for centuries, make our procession around the church and go into Bethlehem following Star Street. So follow me. We are here in this incredible place. I'm glad that you were able to make it to Bethlehem with us as we walk the footsteps of Mary and Joseph. And we're here with our good friend Ronnie, who has brought us to this incredible workshop. So can you tell us, first of all, who are you and what we're seeing, where we are? Because the star is the important thing. It's always Christmas in Bethlehem.
Always we have Christmas in Bethlehem.
Yes.
And I am proud to be born in the same place where our Lord was born.
Yes.
So this is something, it affects us.
Yes,
And
it does.
It gives us more hope and faith.
Yes. And so this workshop, there's the olive wood.
This is the olive wood,
Oh my
right?
gosh, look at
you
this.
see? As you can see, they are doing many special things.
Yes.
Olive wood, mother of pearl now will see.
Yes, and the
And
catalog
we
is
have
here.
the people.
Hi.
These are the holy people that they are working this. This is the most important thing. And this is his son even. He brought him to teach him.
Hi.
So
Nice to meet you.
Isa, he's responsible here
Isa,
also.
nice to meet you. Oh my gosh,
Very good.
I have to explain. Can
means
you hear
Jesus.
okay? Yes. Isa, if you ever hear that name, is the name of Jesus in Arabic, right?
Right.
That's great.
Most of the people here are working, they are like family.
Oh, that's nice.
Even people with special needs or people or the teachers.
This is like a center that gives, first of all, helping for the handicapped people.
That's great.
And also to give more profession for the
Also teach
history.
Yeah. We also give opportunity for people with special needs,
Yes.
a place to live, a place to make money.
Oh, wow.
We give them a pocket of money. We give them also, we teach 150 students of Terra Santa School. So these
Oh
people
my gosh, you're
from the school.
kidding. Which
Yes.
is right, it's right
Yes.
here, Terra Sancta School, right
instead of
outside.
taking the art class,
Yes.
they are coming to our center
You're kidding.
Yes,
That's
we-
a really good idea.
in the morning. Yeah.
That's a
So we
great
teach them.
idea.
So because we have a message in the center is to preserve the handicrafts of Bethlehem,
Yes.
to preserve the handicrafts of Christianity, and to invest in the people because we are here
Yeah.
with the people and for the people.
That's right. Oh,
You see, this is the mother of pearl.
Nermeen, she's deaf.
oh.
You only understand the lips
Yes.
and the way you talk. So what she's doing, you will see the final product inside. This is a cross made of mother of pearl
Oh,
and
wow.
wood. So you will
Nice.
see the final product inside in our gift shop.
Yes.
I will show you something. Look, these are slices from the wood. They make it draw like a design on it, and they cut it.
It's
And
not easy.
Let
If you
me,
want to show you, I can show you right now.
let me, oh, I would love
Yes.
to see the process. Oh my gosh, this is great.
I'll answer my
You remember the finger rose?
Of course, yes. You make the crosses here.
Yes. And we are helping another families who is doing the mounting the rose.
Oh, that's really good.
So
A big.
it's difficult to organize all this.
Yes,
It's
yes.
not easy.
Yes. I chose a difficult one. Oh, this is so cool. You can tell he does this a lot. Ah, wow.
You need to take it to the sand belting machine.
Yes.
It's not machine, it's hand machine. So you put by hand how to do it.
خلينا نرجع المستشفى نستعرض سريع بالدولة طب يلا الفكرة حرام
Here we go.
I want to show you how we make the small crosses.
Yes, wonderful.
small crosses which I told you
Oh,
about.
wonderful. Let's see it.
You see, this is
Yes, it's a block.
a block of wood. It
Yes.
will become the crosses.
Nice. Wow, bravo.
Once
Nice. Abu George, good. Look at all of this. Oh, here's the.
as it's real. See the door?
Oh, look at the door. This is fantastic. And this is lovely. These are the end products of much work. This is very difficult work,
Yeah,
right?
it's not easy.
Yes.
So one of the things I wanted to make sure that the people in the United States, the people in Canada, Australia, the people who will watch this, you've seen these incredible faces of people, the living stones of Bethlehem, what they're doing to spread light and life here in Bethlehem. And so I would love it if you could invite pilgrims to come, because I think people want to come back very much, and wish them a very Merry Christmas.
Yes.
Thank you. And we invite all the people in the United States and all the world to come to Bethlehem to see the birthplace of Jesus, to see the stones of the place and the living stones. And it's important to not to leave us alone.
Oh, yes, we don't want to.
Thank
And
you.
also to visit our center to see how things are done, truly done by hand, not machines.
It's good. You want to wish them Merry Christmas in Arabic?
Merry Christmas.
كل عام وانتم بخير. كل سنة وانتم سالمين.
If you liked this video, make sure to subscribe to our YouTube channel and give it a thumbs up. It's an easy way for you to support our ministry and help us share the message of Jesus from Magdala in the Holy Land right to you in your home.